Every struggle we face carries within it the quiet intention of growth. It is not sent to destroy us, but to prepare us for the weight of the purpose we are meant to carry. Struggle is not a sign that life has turned against you. It is proof that you are being refined, shaped, and made ready. The strongest steel is forged in the hottest flame, and the same truth applies to the human spirit. It is in the moments when we are tested beyond comfort that we discover what we are truly made of. Every difficulty you endure is teaching you something that comfort never could: patience, endurance, humility, and courage. The universe does not waste pain. It uses it to awaken potential. When everything seems uncertain and the path forward unclear, it is easy to mistake preparation for punishment. But what feels like delay is often protection. What feels like rejection may be redirection. Struggle slows you down not to stop you, but to strengthen your steps for the journey ahead. The lessons learned in hardship are not temporary. They are permanent foundations that no one can take away. They teach you discipline when you want to quit, perspective when pride clouds your judgment, and gratitude when success finally arrives. Those who have never struggled often lack depth. They may shine for a moment, but they cannot stand when the storm comes. Those who have walked through difficulty, however, carry an inner calm that no storm can shake. Struggle demands honesty. It strips away illusions and forces you to face yourself. It reveals your fears, your limits, and your weaknesses, not to shame you, but to remind you where your true strength lies. It reminds you that endurance is a choice, not a gift. The more you fight through, the more you grow into the person capable of handling the blessings you once prayed for. Without the process of struggle, you would not develop the resilience needed to sustain what you achieve. Preparation always comes before purpose, and struggle is that preparation in motion. Every setback, every challenge, every closed door is molding you into something greater. It's shaping your character, refining your patience, and teaching you to find strength not in circumstance, but in conviction. The lessons learned through struggle are the tools you'll use to build your future. You may not see it now, but the strength you're building in silence will one day speak for you. Struggle teaches that success without sacrifice is hollow, and victory without challenge is empty. It reminds you that real growth comes not when life is easy, but when you keep walking even when the path is steep. Each day that you refuse to surrender, you become stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's ahead. The struggle that once seemed unbearable becomes the very force that shapes your destiny, molding your heart into one that can endure, lead, and inspire beyond the limits of fear or failure. The journey toward greatness begins with a single, quiet decision, the decision to rise after falling, to stand firm when the ground beneath you trembles, to keep believing when the world gives you every reason to doubt. Strength is not born from ease, it is born from choice. It is born when you decide that you will not allow the weight of your past or the opinions of others to define what you can become. Every person who has ever achieved something extraordinary has walked through a valley of uncertainty. They have faced moments of darkness when quitting seemed easier than continuing, yet somewhere deep inside they chose to keep moving forward. That choice is where true strength begins, not in the loud moments of triumph, but in the quiet moments when no one is watching, and the only voice you hear is the one telling you not to give up. Strength is not about physical power, it is about inner conviction. It is about the will to persevere when circumstances make no sense. It is the determination to build something meaningful out of the ruins of disappointment. It is standing tall in the face of injustice, speaking truth even when your voice shakes, and believing in yourself when others do not. Strength is not inherited. It is cultivated through experience, struggle, and the unrelenting belief that your life has purpose. The world will often test this belief, pushing you to the edges of your endurance. But each time you choose faith over fear, you reinforce the muscle of courage. You become stronger, not because life becomes easier, but because you have learned to endure what once seemed impossible. To find strength within yourself means to take responsibility for your growth. It means realizing that waiting for someone else to rescue you will only delay your progress. No one can fight your battles for you. No one can walk your path but you. There comes a time when you must look within and understand that everything you need to rise already lives inside you. The same fire that drives you to dream also gives you the endurance to overcome. When you start trusting that power, you stop begging for opportunities and start creating them. You stop seeing obstacles as endings and start recognizing them as beginnings in disguise. Every challenge is a mirror reflecting the strength you didn't know you had. Each hardship you overcome adds another layer of confidence, another reason to believe that nothing is too difficult when your heart refuses to yield. The world may not always be kind, but your response to it can be powerful. You may stumble, you may doubt, but as long as you do not surrender to despair, you remain undefeated. Strength is not the absence of pain, but the courage to transform that pain into purpose. It is the unbreakable belief that even in your weakest moments, there lies within you an untamed spirit, waiting to rise, rebuild, and rewrite the story of your life. Hope is the light that survives even in the darkest hours, the whisper that tells you to keep going when everything around you says stop. It is not naive optimism or blind faith. It is the quiet certainty that no night lasts forever and that every storm eventually passes. Hope is the seed of every great achievement, the spark that ignites action even when the outcome is uncertain. When you lose everything, comfort, support, direction, hope remains as the one thing you can still choose. It gives meaning to your struggle and direction to your strength. It allows you to see possibility in pain and purpose in hardship. Without hope, people surrender to fear. With it, they find the courage to rebuild from ashes. There will be moments when you feel surrounded by uncertainty, when the future looks distant and the path forward invisible. In such times, hope becomes your compass. It reminds you that the struggle is temporary, that progress may be slow, but it is still progress. Hope whispers that what is broken can be repaired, that what seems lost can still be found, and that your story is far from over. It does not remove the obstacles before you, but it gives you the strength to face them with determination rather than despair. Hope transforms waiting into preparation, doubt into faith, and suffering into strength. It changes how you walk through difficulty, because when you carry hope, you walk not as a victim of life, but as a believer in possibility. Hope demands courage, because it asks you to believe before you can see. It is easy to have faith when everything is working in your favor, but real hope is born in silence, in tears, in the moments when all you have left is the will to try one more time. It is in those moments that hope becomes more than a word. It becomes an act of resistance. To hope in the face of despair is the bravest thing a human being can do. It is a declaration that no matter how heavy the world becomes, your spirit will not break. Those who hold on to hope are not denying reality. They are choosing to shape it. They are choosing to believe that their actions, however small, still matter, that kindness still heals, and that persistence still pays off. When you nurture hope, you nurture resilience. It becomes a constant reminder that setbacks are not final, and that every ending hides a new beginning. Hope turns fear into focus, turning every wound into a lesson, and every failure into a step forward. It keeps your eyes fixed not on what you have lost, but on what you can still build. Hope is not fragile, it is fierce. It is the force that keeps humanity moving forward, the quiet courage that lives in the hearts of those who refuse to surrender, the strength that rises every time the world tries to silence it. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength a person can possess. It takes far more courage to forgive than to retaliate. When someone wrongs you, the instinct to seek revenge or hold resentment comes easily, but forgiveness requires maturity, reflection, and peace with oneself. To forgive does not mean to forget, nor does it mean to excuse injustice. It means choosing to release the burden of bitterness that chains your heart to the past. Anger may feel powerful in the moment, but over time it poisons the very soul that carries it. Forgiveness, on the other hand, frees you. It opens space in your heart for growth, for clarity, and for healing. It is an act of liberation, not for the one who hurt you, but for yourself. There are moments in life when you will be betrayed, misunderstood, or treated unfairly. The natural response is pain, and pain often demands acknowledgement. Yet there is a point when holding on to that pain becomes more damaging than the act that caused it. The longer you carry resentment, the heavier your heart becomes. You begin to live in the shadow of old wounds instead of the light of new possibilities. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it transforms your relationship with it. It teaches you that peace is not given to you, it is created by you. It is a choice to rise above the harm done to you, and to declare that you will no longer let it define your present or dictate your future. True forgiveness is not passive, it is an act of great strength. It requires confronting your pain honestly, acknowledging your anger, and then deciding to let go of it with purpose. It takes faith to release control of the past and courage to move forward with an open heart. Forgiveness is not about the other person deserving it. It is about you deserving peace. It is about refusing to let someone else's mistake become your lifelong suffering. When you forgive, you reclaim power over your story. You shift the focus from what was done to you to what you can do next. You remind yourself that no wound, no betrayal, no injustice can destroy the part of you that chooses compassion over hate. To forgive is to understand the shared humanity that exists even within those who hurt you. People act out of fear, ignorance, or pain, and while that does not excuse their actions, it helps you see beyond them. When you see others through the lens of compassion, you begin to see yourself more clearly. Forgiveness becomes not an act of surrender, but one of wisdom. It is the bridge between pain and peace, between anger and understanding. It allows you to walk forward without the weight of the past on your shoulders, to speak with clarity rather than resentment, and to build a life not anchored in old wounds, but rooted in freedom, in strength that no one can take away. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. Every person faces moments when fear whispers that they are not enough, that the risk is too high, that failure is inevitable. Yet it is in those exact moments that courage must rise. Courage is not loud or boastful, it is often silent, steady, and determined. It is found in the quiet voice that says, "I will try again tomorrow." It is in the willingness to take a step when the path ahead is hidden by uncertainty. Courage does not wait for perfect timing or guarantees. It acts with faith that something greater will unfold once the first step is taken. Fear wants you to stand still, but courage dares you to grow, to move, to become more than what your fear allows. Every act of progress in history was born from courage. It took courage for dreamers to speak when silence was safer, for leaders to stand alone when others turned away, for ordinary people to rise against injustice when the cost was high. Courage is not reserved for heroes. It lives in every heart willing to confront the unknown. It shows itself when you chase a vision others cannot see, when you continue to fight for what is right even after losing, and when you believe in yourself after the world has doubted you. Courage is what turns pain into purpose and obstacles into opportunities. It is not a shield from hardship, but a torch that lights the way through it. Those who embrace courage may stumble, but they never remain where fear left them. To live with courage means accepting vulnerability. It means understanding that failure is not fatal, and that falling short is not the end. Fear teaches caution, but courage teaches conviction. Every challenge you face is a chance to strengthen your spirit and to prove that fear has limits, but your will does not. Courage is what allows you to dream bigger than your circumstances, to speak truth when silence feels easier, and to keep faith in moments when everything feels uncertain. It demands that you trust yourself even when no one else does, and with every act of bravery, no matter how small, you begin to transform your life. You discover that courage grows stronger each time it is tested, that every time you choose bravery over fear, your capacity for greatness expands. Courage is the bridge between where you are and where you are meant to be. It connects the present filled with doubts to the future filled with possibilities. It tells you that fear may visit, but it has no right to stay. When you act with courage, you awaken a power that lies dormant within you, a power that defies circumstance, that endures criticism, and that turns uncertainty into purpose. It teaches you to walk forward with trembling hands and a steady heart, knowing that even in fear you are still capable of rising, still capable of leading, still capable of creating something extraordinary out of the unknown.